So firstly, I'd just like to say welcome to everyone. My name is Khalid Smith. I'm the founder of the Greenhouse Foundation. Our core focus is job creation and economic growth. So we are covering economics today so that you can have a better understanding of how economic cycles and how the government work, and more importantly, how it impacts us as small business owners. Okay. So we're moving on. So if we look at two of the, and these are, we don't always realize, we see things that happens in the, in the economy, but we don't always realize how it affects us. So, as we go through this, I hope you realize how important this is. So microeconomics is the focus on behavior. Those are the little things that actually happens. How you're making decisions, how many households there is, how many companies there is, consumers, how many, what is supply, what is demand, what is people buying every single day. And that's microeconomics. Okay. How these entities interact with the market and allocate resources. It's important for us to know, the ups and downs, because you need to know how much goods to supply, how much products to purchase, how much stock that you're actually going to be keeping, and it's like a banjo, it contracts and expands, right? And that is very, very important for us as small businesses, because if you know how supply and demand works, when there's a lot of supply and everyone wants it, the price goes up, and when no one is buying, the price goes down. So those are very, very important things to pay attention to, in the economy. And then we have macroeconomics. It looks at the economy as a whole, okay? Analyzing aggregate indicators, phenomena, things that is happening throughout South Africa, and those trends, not only in South Africa, but also outside of South Africa. It deals with broader economic factors and how they interact and influence the national economy and global economies. Okay, and we're going to be covering a lot of these concepts: GDP, the of South Africa, inflation. All of these things affect us every single day, right? And we're not only gonna have an understanding of where we are now in our economy, how it impacts on us, but also how we can plan ahead. And the more we know, the easier it will be for us to plan ahead. So we're gonna go through, right, as you guys know, supply and demand, your products that you are purchasing from overseas and local, right? The quantities that you wanna purchase. And when things are tight, when you're doing work, and you guys, if you have attended the costing and pricing workshops for the city, you need to look at every single advantage, right? So if you're able to purchase a raw material or product that you are using in your business, if you're in manufacturing, right, or if you're in supplying of goods, and you can get it at 10 or 20% cheaper than anyone else, right? That is a huge advantage over you. That's a huge advantage. So you need to understand these fluctuations. Also, when you're doing quotes for government or for corporate company, and those quotes are valid for a year, you need to know what's going to happen, right? You need to look at the economy, look at how inflation is gonna impact you, because those costs cannot change, right? If you give your quote for government and fuel price goes up, one of your main materials that you require for your in your manufacturing goes up, right? You cannot go back and say, look, this is what happened now. I need to increase my cost. Your price stay the same. So there is a huge risk right? So you need to understand where we are in our economy and what risks you are taking, right? Demand refers to the quantity of goods, obviously, that you consume, right? And are willing to able to purchase at various prices, right? Over a given period. And this is what you do, when products are cheap, yes, you buy, right? You're also able to partner with other organizations, right? To be able to have bigger buying power, because this is how it works, right? The more you buy, the cheaper the products is. And if you are clear where you are and the economy is moving and people are buying, right? You can go and you can take a little bit of risk if you know that, right? And if products are cheap, right? You can partner, you can purchase bulk at a lower price. And this is what companies do. They purchase when it's very, very cheap. They come together with other organizations, so they have bigger buying power. Then instead of you going, you buy 50 units, you buy 50 units, you buy 50 units. We come together, we buy 1,000 units, right? We get it for a lot cheaper, and we wait till it's very, very cheap. And then what they do is, right, they don't use all the product. They keep it. They will even put it in storage, right? They will put it in storage and keep it, till the price goes up, till the price goes up, and then they're selling it for 2-3 times the price. And this is what they do. They're making money off supply and demand. Okay. So we're going to go through a little bit of detail of how economic indicators work. Okay. So, and we're going to go through also some of the tools to determine how the economy is actually doing, right? So GDP, right, is the total monetary value of all finished goods and services produced within the country, right? And it's a way that we measure, because this is how we determine where we are, when the economy is doing well or not. We look at sales. We look at how much gold is being sold, right? We look at agriculture, we look at manufacturing, how much goods is being, because government has all of those stats, right? They have all the stats on how the different industries are doing, right? And remember, this is how it works. Government, when businesses are thriving, right? Government get taxed, right? Everyone gets taxed, whether it's individuals or whether it's businesses. So what happens is, when businesses are doing very, very well, okay, so now it's whether it is a bank or it's a mining company, right, or a transport company or a logistics company, they're making a lot of money, right? So now they're either investing into different products, right? And if not, they paying tax. Yes. And remember that tax, government relies on that tax to keep the economy going, because it costs money to run the country, right? So, and that is how they rely on, on everything that is being sold, everything that is being traded. I don't know if you guys listen to the president's speech, the State of the Nation address a few days ago. And one of the key things that he was saying is that, a lot of the raw materials that we are exporting, we should be processing a lot of that, because effectively what we're doing is we exporting it, and other countries are turning it into more valuable products, and then we're buying it back. Right. But then there's rands going out of the country, because remember, we're buying in dollars, right? And if our rand is weak, it costs us a lot of money to bring in. It's better for us, to export when the economy is struggling. Okay. So very, very important to understand where we are and how the economy is doing in all aspects. And we will go through exactly where we are now, looking once we've gone through the different cycles. So we look at inflation, right? So that is the value of the goods and how it is fluctuating, because this is what happens when you're in business and things start. It's almost like a ripple effect. It's a ripple effect. The one thing influences everything else. So now I'm in business, right? Fuel price goes up, right? Fuel price goes up. Why? Because there's a war somewhere in America or somewhere else in the world, and because of that instability, oil is now maybe not readily available. And now what companies are doing, they're buying bulk of oil, and as a result, the oil price goes up, and that now influences me, and now the fuel price goes up. So what am I going to do? I'm going to have to increase the price of my product, because someone's got to pay. So as a consumer, you're gonna pay, right? So now you pay, right? Someone has to pay. So now the price goes up. The price goes up of everything. Everything goes up. And this is how inflation works. And you need to understand how it works, because you need to plan ahead. Right, you need to plan ahead. If you're using products, right, if you have rent and your rent is going to go up, all of those things needs to be planned, because effectively, if you've worked out your profit margins, and now things goes up, what is happening? It's eating from your profit, right? It's eating from your profit. So it's taking all your profits away. So you need to understand how it impacts you. What is our inflation rate currently? And is it going to be going up in the next few months, in the next year? What is people saying? And this is very, very important to us. Unemployment rates, we'll discuss that also in a little bit of detail, right? People don't employ people when they are struggling just to keep their businesses afloat. People employ people when the economy is doing well and they're expanding and they're getting contracts, and they're getting long-term. Now they will employ people. So currently our unemployment rates is very, very high. That is putting it mildly. When I say it is actually one of the highest unemployment rates in the world. So, and it affects us, right? So we've got a very, very high employment rate. We have lots of people, not enough jobs. So it's important for us to understand this, that when we look at government, what government is doing, the opportunities that is there in government, there's a lot of programs that government is currently offering. Unemployment, they're employing, training, upskilling. The YES program is a program for youth that actually trains unemployed youth, and it allows them to work in business. So you have a business, you take on 2 or 3 interns, and they work and help you in your business, right? And they are paid for by the government. Why? Because they need to get experience, and they need and the work that they're doing in your business makes them more employable later on, right? So government is saying they're going to invest, right? Because government still has money, you understand? So government controls, you might not have it, but government understands economic cycles very, very well, and they put plans in place ahead of time to say, you know what, they know this is going to be a challenge. We're going to put infrastructure here for you. We're going to make sure that there's people that can do the work at a lower cost. They're going to offer reduced lending. They're going to reduce red tape in certain areas. And this is what they're going to do, right? Interest rates. Yes. So remember now, banks are companies too, right? So banks also, they charge more when the economy is not doing well, right? They effectively take more risk. So when they take more risk, right, then rates go up. Rates go up because they're saying, you know what, because we're taking a risk, we're going to charge more, right? So when the interest rate goes up, when central bank, and they control this is control, and this is how government control spending, depending on where they are, which cycles they are, and how the economy is doing, right? Certain times they will lower the interest rate. They want to make it easy for you to go and spend money, right? And certain times the interest rate goes up, so they're saying, don't spend, right? So they sort of using the interest rates. The government uses the interest rates, the central bank, to control lending, but banks itself, remember, they use government central bank rate to control their interest rate, but they determine the risk, so they could charge even more, right? They determine the rates that they want to charge and the risk that they want to take, okay? And it changes, and everything is negotiable, right? When you go to a bank, they don't tell you that. They don't tell you that it's negotiable. They will just say this is the interest rate, but it actually everything is negotiable, right? Based on government, on central bank loans. So that's non-negotiable, right? Governments say this is the cost of lending money that banks pay, but their rate from bank to bank, and remember, it's not just banks, there's lots and lots of companies that lends money. Their rates are different, and it is negotiable. It is negotiable. Okay. So simplified, and I'm trying to simplify it as much as I can so that it's easy for everyone to understand how this works. So different times of not only of the year, but our economy, there is expansion. So when your economy is in an expansion cycle, right? So unemployment rates is low, right? Income levels are high. GDP is good, which means people are selling, people are confident, right? So if we look at where we are now, 2020, right? Firstly, in 2020, that was when COVID struck. Before COVID hit, I remember that impacted the whole world, right? We were already in a contraction stage. We were in a recession already, right before COVID hit, and then COVID hit, and it just plummeted the whole world economy. So 2020 was a very, very bad year, right? So very, very bad year. What happened after that, right? Things started getting a little bit better. And then after COVID, people started, because now obviously people need to make money. They need to recover from their losses, right? And there was lots of demand after that because COVID, right? What COVID did, it actually closed down lots and lots of companies. A lot of companies couldn't manage through COVID. They didn't have the planning, right? Obviously, not a lot of companies could have predicted COVID, but companies that were very, very clued up on economic cycles, they were prepared because remember, economic cycles was still there, and it was a recession. It was in a recession before then. So a lot of companies they prepared for a normal recession and contraction phases of the of the different governments, and in South Africa as well, because things weren't looking good prior to that already. So they sort of prepared. Those that didn't prepare, those are the companies that just couldn't keep their doors open. They never prepared. For them, things was just going fine, and they never saved for a rainy day, and they never planned. And this is why we are here today. We want to plan, and the more we know, the easier it is to plan. And this is the thing, just by knowing what's gonna happen, you effectively 60% more effective. 60%, just by knowing what's going to happen and preparing yourself, right? You're 60% more effective, right? And this is why we're sharing this information, so you can know what is happening. So 2021, very good. Very good. It's now we post-COVID, we're now expanding, and now we're going into expansion. So this was 2021 and 2022 right? People are investing, governments are expanding, employment, people are employing more people, they're taking on people, they're expanding, they're taking risks, they're taking loans, right? This is what has happened. And then, and it's not just South Africa, all over the world, this is what is happening, right? So, and then 2023, now going back down again, going back down. And this is when GDP now decreases, unemployment rises, and now not spending as much money, right? So this is the pattern. This is the pattern that we're gonna go through. We're gonna spend a little bit of time. So if you look at that peak, the peak there, right? That is more or less 2020, 2021, 2022. And that is where we peaked, not only in South Africa, but all over the world post-COVID, right? A lot of investment, a lot of money going into the economy and infrastructure, right? And where we are now, we're going into, so we are in a contraction phase at the moment. Yes. So we had a presentation yesterday at the city of Cape Town. We had some, I don't know if any of you were there. It was the networking session for the city, and we have some of the banks, some of the lenders there, and they're saying, you know what, they're cutting down on, on the lending, right? Because we're currently in a contraction phase. We're not quite yet at the trough. So remember, you get a peak, right? That's where we were. And that peak was very, very high. And it was very, very high because it was after COVID. So there was, the economies globally was doing exceptionally, exceptionally well. So the peak was high. So we're not at the trough yet. So in other words, we're not at the bottom yet. But economists say that because of the high peak, you can also expect a high trough. And the trough is right at the bottom. There's term rock bottom, rock bottom. That is rock bottom, right? So we are on the way down. We're on the way down, not at the bottom yet. We don't know how deep it's going to go, but we are on our way down, which means that there's less spending. There's less spending. Unemployment rates are going up, right? Government are running more programs. So, I mean, they're running more programs to support because they're anticipating that there's going to be a need to stimulate a growth in the economy, to build confidence, because this is part of government's role, is to build confidence, to allow people to start spending again, right? So they're running loads of that, and it's not just South Africa. I mean, I've just heard recently that even in China, they've spent, now you must remember what happens is economies that has billions and billions of people in growth, they need to think ahead. So they've built thousands and thousands of complexes and houses, thinking that the economy is going to grow and there's going to be a need for all of that. And as a result, it didn't. And now the economy is dropping. So China's dropped. The economy, the GDP has dropped, right? But the highest percentage in more than 10 years. So the economy is not doing well. They're sitting with properties that they cannot sell, right? So that affects everyone. It affects everyone, right? And that is just rippled through the whole world, and it affects us, as well. So we're saying we need to prepare for where we are heading, right? So we don't know. As I said, I'm not an economist, but we haven't reached the trough yet. And once we reach that, we obviously going to be moving into the growth phase, and that is recovery, and that is when you start investing. And it's important to know when this is, so that you can plan ahead. You understand? And it's valuable information, because it's almost like you see into the future. And that is why having this information is very, very important. It allows you to plan It allows you to plan for opportunities which lies ahead. Right. And this is what we're hoping that you guys will do. We look, because what happens when you're in a recession and you're in a trough and people are not spending money, what happens? They tend to spend money on necessities, things they need, they must have, non-negotiable. I need to eat, right? You need to eat, you need health care, right? You're looking for ways, right, to save money. Right. You're not going to spend money during this time on luxury items. Luxuries. No, we can't have, not going to spend money on luxuries when things are tough. Right. When things are tough, you're not going to spend on luxury items. Right. So you're going to look at what is people, and this is why you're looking at things in your business, the services that you are offering, right, that will allow people to save. If you offering products and services that can save people money during this time, you're going to do well, because remember that yes, the majority of businesses don't do well, but there is lots and lots of businesses that has thrived during COVID. There's lots of businesses that has thrived, that actually developed and grew during COVID, because they've positioned themselves into areas during that time, apps like Zoom, offering online tools. The amount of online applications that was made during that time, if you take all the applications for the last 10 years, after COVID has been developed, because people are doing things online. They don't want to go out. They want to do it. People were spoiled. They were spoiled. So they want to do things online. People that were not online are now online. They want things easy. So if you're in an industry, right, that can create applications to allow people to do things quicker and easier, you're going to do very, very well. If you're offering things at a lower price that allows people to save money, you're going to do very, very well. If you're busy in an industry that allows for improvement, innovation, and improved efficiency, you're going to do well. Remember, necessities. You're going to look at necessities during this time, and you're going to do very, very well. Okay. So remember, it's not all industries during a recession that is these industries that does very, very well. Okay. Because everything still, utilities, people need to eat, all of those things still carry on, and government still spending money, right? Which is why hopefully you guys are registered with government, because even though corporates are not spending, government still spends. Government still, remember, they're still trying. Government's still trying, right? Even though corporates are not spending, small businesses or business to business are not spending, right? Government's still spending. Government's still spending, right? Because remember, they're trying to boost it. They're trying to boost the economy and give stimulus as well to small businesses, right? So hopefully you guys are registered with all the government departments, and this is why you're using this time, right? When there's not a lot of business to business and there's not a lot of corporate contracts that is out, you're using the time to build additional streams through government departments, non-negotiable. If you're registered with the city, maybe you're working for the city of Cape Town, right? You're registered with Western Cape government, but you haven't registered with Stellenbosch municipality, you haven't registered with Cape Winelands, you haven't registered with SAP, you haven't registered with correctional services. This is the time to do it. It's a good time. It is a good time. It's a good time to do it. Why? Because you want to build extra income streams during this time. Every little bit counts. Every little bit counts. And you're using downtime. You can't do all of this when you're very, very busy. You can't do this when you have lots of contracts coming out. You're just busy with operations. You're expanding, right? You can't do it then. right? Then you're not interested in a small government contract because you know the rates are low. You're not interested in those things. You want the high income. You want the contracts with that's more profitable, right? But when things are tough, that government contract is fine. It keeps you busy. It covers costs. It covers rent. Covers your salaries, right? And it's gonna keep you going. Remember, when things are tough, you need to keep going, right? You need to keep going, right? Remember what happened, COVID? Lots of companies closed down. Lots of companies closed. They couldn't survive it. They couldn't survive it. So you need to keep going. So you're going to do all of those register. It takes time registering with all your, but you're going to look for opportunities there through government. You're going to access grants that's available through government, finance that's available through government, right? You're going to access those opportunities during this time, right? Remember where we are now? We're going down towards the trough. This is where we are, right? This is where we are now. Okay. So we've discussed a few of these. We're going to go in a little bit more detail. We've said market demand has changed in consumer spending impact, right? Economic downturn and reduced disposable income, right? So if there's very, very little money that's there, people are not going to build up on stock. They're not going to keep a lot of stock. Remember, you need to, if you look at what people do, they call it lean management, okay? Lean processes. And that means you're going to have the minimum requirements for keeping your business afloat. If you have 20 different products and you have 20 different services, you're going to try during this time. You're going to cut it down. You're going to try and specialize. The session, the presentations that we did yesterday, I think we had like 200 people at that presentation for the city. It was on diversification. The topic was what was it? Jack of all trades, master of none. That was it. It was about making sure that you are actually narrowing down and not diversifying that much during this time. Why? Because you want to specialize. You want to specialize in one area and focus your marketing on one area during this time. You want to lower costs. You want to lower your costs, right? You're going to look at inflation, right? And during this time, you need to look at alternatives. Yes, alternative products, alternative services. Where can you save? Where can you save? Right? Where can you save? You're gonna avoid at all cost debt. Guys, this is the thing. This is the thing. During, like, you now know we're heading in for recession. We're on a downturn, right? But a lot of people don't know that because remember, they're coming from good times. They're coming from good times. So what happens is before this, banks, they're gonna offer you their credit card. They're going to offer you that loans, right? And there's so much financial institutions these days. They call it alternative lending, right? Vodalend, the list goes on and on and on. You just Google funding. They will give you funding. Listen, they will give you funding. They'll give you that credit card. They'll give you that overdraft facility. If you have a bank, I need no problem. No problem. I'll give it to you. Remember, your rates is going up. So it's not like they're not going to give it to you. They take risk. They're taking risk. So because they're taking risk, the rates are high. They're charging you more. They're charging you more. But they need to make money, right? So they're going to give it to you. They're going to give it to you, right? It's the worst thing you can do. right? Because you're going into debt that needs to be paid off, interest on interest on interest. Okay, so the last thing you would want to do now is think, oh, I'm going to take out a loan and just get me through this time. Oh, it doesn't work like that. Okay, you avoid it, right? Not all debt, not all debt. If it's debt short term that you're gonna using it for running capital, you're gonna do this job, you're gonna get paid, you're gonna pay it back. That's fine. That's fine. Short term. Invoice factoring is fine. Can use it. Bridging finance, fine. Those things are short term, right? You're going to use it to get a job, to deliver a job, and you're going to use it to carry on. That is fine. But any long-term debt, stay away. You're reducing. In fact, what you're doing is when your things are going well, right, you actually need to have a plan. Remember, this is what you want. You want to have a plan that whatever debt that you had, right, last year, the year before, your main targets is covering those debts, getting rid of the debts when things are going well, when there's business, you get rid of the debt. So that when you're heading into that, not only do you have debt, you have a little savings. You need to plan. You need to plan for it. Have a little savings that you can rely on during this time. And this is why it's important for you guys to understand this, so that you have that plan of action already a year in advance. You're putting that 100 Rand, that 500 Rand, you're putting it away. You're putting it away for a rainy day, for a rainy day, for a rainy day. Now, Eva, I see that there's some questions. Can you please answer some of the questions? You can just bring it to my attention. If it's something that needs my attention, then I will answer the question. Otherwise, you can please answer. Let me just check quickly. There's no questions in the question box. There's no questions. You can please post your question. If someone has a question, please post it. Naeem will assist in answering the question. And then we'll get, we want to try and finish this, and we're going to have a Q&A right at the end. Write down your questions and we'll answer them. Remember, the session, for those of you that is just joining us, the session is recorded. We will send you the recording, right? We will send you the recording. You can view it again. We will send you the PowerPoint. We have your email addresses, so we will send you this as soon as we're done. You'll get this. Okay. So government policies, yes. So government has changed policies. They have incentives, especially for exporting, right? So Westgrow, that's what they do, right? They assist businesses that want to export. Why? Because you're getting dollars in. So you're sending stuff out and you're getting dollars in, and that is good. The more when things are tough, right? And governments in this, you want to export more than what you import, right? And not only if you're buying, right? If you're buying products, you want to buy local, guys. You want to buy local manufactured products. You don't want to buy products which is imported now. It's costs money, costs more money. Remember, the rand is weaker, so it's gonna cost you more to buy, right? So when the companies are in this, you buy and support local producers that's produced here. Okay. So currency, yes, currency is up and down. All over the world is up and down, right? Instability, it costs money. So exchange rates, we're saying, right? If you are purchasing products, software, everything goes up, right? If you're purchasing products from overseas, you'll see software prices goes up and down, right? If you cannot even understand things like hardware and software for computers, markups on those products, 300, 400%, right? It just doubles. It just doubles in price, right? Over the short space of time. Why? People don't want to risk, right? They don't want to risk it because you need dollars to purchase those software online. Okay. Unemployment levels, yes, right. Very, very high during this time. But remember, there's a lot that you can do, right? We run turnaround programs, and we've ran it for many years for Productivity SA, for companies that is in distress, right? that hasn't planned, for the ups and downs. And remember, any business, you have ups and downs. Economies, the same. Nothing changes. It's since the beginning of time, it's ups and downs. Economies are good, economies are bad, and whatever reasons it is. The reasons are too many, right? So we're not going to get into the debates on why it is something happens in the Middle East and then this influences on this and this. It's irrelevant for now. What you need to know is that there is always ups and there's downs. You need to be aware of where you're at and where the economy is. So you need to pay attention to where you're at so that you can have those discussions with your staff. You need to speak to them. You need to speak to them, right? If you're one person, if you're two people, it doesn't make a difference. Or if you're 100 people, 50 people, you're going to speak to your staff. You need to explain to them, this is where we're at. Things are not looking good. We need to plan ahead. I need more from all of you. If we need to go on short time, we're going on short time, but we're not gonna put you off. Right. We're not gonna put you off. We go on short time, right? I'm gonna pay you half. You're gonna put in, I need extra effort. You're gonna put in more from all of you because we need to get through this. And this is what we need to do to get through. We need to diversify. We need to get new clients, right? We need to fight harder for it because this is what happens when work is tough. When work is tough and there's not a lot of contracts out, but there's a lot of people hunting for it, you need to put more effort in. You need to put more effort in. There's 50 people, but there's only 5 fish. Oh, there's only 5 fish, and there's 50 people. They're gonna fight for that 5 fish, which means you need to put more effort in during this time with in your business to get that 5. One of that 5 fish is yours. You need to go and fight for it, right? So you need to put more effort in to your marketing, to your teams during this time. We understand how it works, right? You cannot have the same strategy that you did 6 months ago or a year ago. Then the thing was going good. There was enough to go around. Right. There was 500 fish and 50 people. Right. There was 50 people and 500 fish. There's a lot to go around. You didn't need to stress too much. You're going to get some fish. Can we understand how it works? Okay. Can we understand? So during the expansion, right, this was 2020. And when you look at economies, how they predict, yes, 2025, after the recession there, 2025, 2026, they predict, yes, there will be expansion again. So what happens in expansion? That is when you invest. You investing in infrastructure. You will maybe think of getting an office, getting that extra vehicle that you might need for your business, that piece of machinery that you might need, bringing on extra staff. When it's expand, you bring why? Because now there's growth. There's growth in different sectors, right? There's growth in different sectors. So now you can think of, yes, bringing people on board, right? When you're in peak, in other words, things are going well, you need to make sure that you are making sufficient profit. You need to maximize. You need to maximize. Remember, we mentioned before many, many times, we are in business, right, to make money, not to be busy. So when things are going well, and we have operations and we have some work and some contracts, you want to make sure that you're making enough profit, right? You're making money during that time. Why? Because you need to save. It's not about survival. You need to make sufficient money so you can save at least 20% of what you're making. You must be able to put it away for a rainy day. Or you're going to invest it into something which you can retain and sell, right? and recover that when you need it, right? So you need to be planning ahead, and you need to know when that peak is. You need to know. And remember, the information and the data is there. Your GDP is there. They will tell you, oh, we're having a while. You open up the newspaper, you go onto Google, and you see, oh, things are going well. The economy is going well, right? Stock exchange is doing well. People are making money. Now you know, great. It is peak. I should be making money. My profits can go up, right? I should be getting more contracts, right? This is what, and your profit should be going up. And if you're doing work for government, your rates go up. This is how it works. Everything impacts, and you need to look at opportunities during peak times. Remember, this is when people spend. The people spend, right? So now you can try out new product. You can try out new things. People have money now, right? You can try out new things. Remember, during a trough or recovery or recession, people not going to try out new things. Why? People don't want to take risks. They're not going to try something new then. Why? Because it's risky. They got to stick with what they know. This is how they don't want to take new risks, right? But during a peak, they will. They'll take some risks then, right? Because the economy is strong, right? So contraction, our cost to maintain core operations. So contraction, remember, this is where we are now. This is where we are now. So we're going to look at saving costs. How do we cut costs? Those debit orders that comes off every month, you're going to look at that. Membership fees that you're paying every month, those gym fees that you don't go to. Yes, we know you pay those gym fees, but you don't go. Yes, you're going to stop all of those things. Right, you're going to stop all of those things, right? Online memberships, when things were going very well, it wasn't a worry, let's take out a membership on this, let's take out the Netflix, let's take out all of these memberships, why not? There's money. All of those things you're going to cancel those things. You don't need it. You don't need it, right? And remember, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised how things add up, Things like overdraft facilities. Yes, banks charge you for overdraft facilities these days. Yes. Whether you use it or you don't use it, you're paying for it. This is how it works. Whether you use it or you don't use it, you have the facility, you are paying for it. You are paying for it. Right? Your bank charges. Look at the accounts that you're on. And if you print out your statement on your bank charges and you go and you add up every single transaction, and you'll see there how much they're charging you, that 10 Rand and that 8 Rand, and you add up all of that, it comes to a lot of money. So remember, you're gonna now go and track. You're gonna track all of those cents now, because you need to lower your overall cost, your running costs of your business. Things you don't need, you shut down. Staff that you just staff. It's unnecessary. What you're gonna do instead of employing someone for a job when you're in your peak, you're gonna get contract workers. Yes. Oh, great. What is a contract worker? I'm doing well now. I'm going to take on a contract. You are external. You sign a SLA. Why? So when things are not going well, you're not permanently employed. You're on a contract basis. You're working now for me, but when things are not and I don't need you, I don't need to pay you. And we understand how it works. That's SLAs is temporary staff. You use temporary staff during the peak. If you know this might not be a contract that's going to keep on, right? This is what you do, or you outsource. Yes, you outsource. Do I need to do it myself, or can I outsource it to someone else to do it? These are the things that you're going to do when you contract. You're going to try and lower your cost, minimize your expenses, right? If you have offices, do I need to keep an office? Can I go to Mug and Bean and have a meeting there? You'll be surprised. Listen, before COVID, you know, it wasn't seen as professional. Need to have an office. Do you think people care these days? No. I had a meeting with ABSA at a coffee shop. ABSA scheduled a meeting at a coffee shop. It's like, hmm, it is not a problem anymore. It is not a problem. It's not seen as unprofessional, right? So if you want to cut costs, right, and you don't need to have an office. No, you don't need it. You can have meetings there. You can cut costs. You don't have to cancel your lease. You can rent it to someone else that has the budget to rent it out on a short term, or you rent out a portion. You rent out a portion of, you know what, I can share this space with someone. They can contribute half. Yeah, it's not so bad. Can we understand? I have things I can use that I can benefit off, right? During this time. One of the other companies, I was just speaking to him, right? What they do is they have vehicles, so they have their vehicles, right? So what they do, right? These vehicles they don't use, they don't use the vehicles, right? It's company vehicles. They have buckets that they're not using it all the time. So what they do is they have slots through Amazon. Yes, Amazon has slots. It's like Uber, right? But you get a slot. You buy a slot and they give you a slot. You get a slot and then you go and deliver their parcels for them anytime. You take it and then they pay you for the slot, right? It's a couple of $1,000. Listen, so now they're taking it. They say, fine, that asset that they have, they're not fully utilizing that asset. I can take that asset. I can put a driver on it. If I have a driver that I'm not using, right? Or I can drive it. And I can drive it. Why? Because who's going to pay me 2,000 rands? I'm getting 2,000 rands after my fuel is off for one vehicle, for one shift. And there's 3 shifts in a day. So I can do one shift at least. And they give me my run from start to finish. And when I'm done, that's it. Right. So they said, I'm going to maximize that asset, right? To make sure that I'm maximizing off that asset, right? And this is what you guys need to be doing. You can't have assets standing around, not making money. If there's a room or a storeroom that you're not using, you can rent it out during this time. Every little bit counts. This is it. When you're in a downturn, every little bit counts, right? It all adds up, right? How you can bring in that little bit of extra income, right? That little bit of extra income. So when you're in the trough, and remember, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. We're going to get there. You're going to focus on efficiency and building relationships. And why is that important? Right? Why is that important? You want to focus on things that you used to do that you can do more effectively with less people, do more with less. If you're in consulting, can I use ChatGPT to do an analysis for me? Do I need 3 people to do the job? Can I do it with 2 people? Right? If I use a tool, can I do it online? Right? Do we have to go to a face-to-face meeting? Can we meet on Zoom? Right? Those are the things that you're going to be doing now during the trough, when we get there. But remember, you're going to have a plan. You're planning for it. You're planning for it. You're planning for it. Right? You're going to look at what people are going to be looking for during those times, right? People that anticipated that we're going to be needing masks and hand cleaner and those things during that. You know how much money those people made? Yes, they didn't make it forever, because now people are not using so much mask in what they used to, but people in those industries, they did very, very well during that time, and those that planned, whew, they made it. They made very, very good money during those times, right? So remember, we said during a trough, what does people need? When money is tight, they spend money on necessities. They're spending money improving efficiencies. How can they save, right? And this is why we're building relationships during this time. They count on people. They're counting on people. You're counting on people, right? And the you're building your network of suppliers. You're building your network of partners. You're building your network of buyers, of clients. You're broadening it. Remember, this is what happens because remember now you're getting less work. So you need to broaden it. You're spending more time and energy on marketing than what you would do before. You're building relationships. Why? And you're supporting people. And this is why you do it. Listen, if you're a business owner, you're a small business owner, everyone is struggling. And when things are tough, you are supporting partners that you work with. You know what? I cannot do this contract. I don't have capacity. You can do it. I'm giving it to you. You know what? I cannot pay my rent now. This month, I'm going to pay you half. You know what? I'm purchasing products. I cannot pay you for this. I need the stock. Give me the stock. I will pay you then. Right? You're having this win-win agreements with your clients, with your suppliers, right? You're offering them value and you're supporting them, right? And they are supporting you. And why do you do this? Because people remember the support you gave them when they needed it. Yes, when they needed it. You know what? I was struggling during that time. You helped me with this and this and this. You're going to help people around you, even though you are also struggling. You're going to help people around you through this. Why you're going to help them? Because you guys that are here, you are going to be prepared. Yeah. You are going to be prepared for what's coming. Yes. You're going to be prepared for what is coming, right? You're going to plan ahead and you're going to look for opportunities that is there for you to fulfill those needs and to give people assistance so that when things are going well again, they're going to be your long-term clients. This is when you build long-term clients, is during troughs. Yes, when things are not not going well. You're going to build the people around you. You're going to build support. You're going to look at what funding is available and support is available through government. You don't do that when you're in a trough, when things are really bad. You need to do it beforehand. Now is the time. You're going to go to each and every government department. You're going to go to CIFA. You're going to go to NEF. You're going to go to the CEDA. You're going to go and find out what is available, what support systems is available for me. What can I access, right? To keep my business afloat and to grow my business. What opportunities is there that I can access? What grant funding is there? What contracts is there? You're going to do that now, not when things are tough and everyone is desperate. You're going to do it now so that you are prepared, right? That you are prepared, right? And obviously, right, after tough times is good times. This is how it works, right? This is how it works. It's a cycle. This is why we call it economic cycles. It goes around. Can we understand? It goes around. It goes around and it goes around. Right. So now we know again. After that, recovery. Now you can build capacity. Now you need stock. Now you need infrastructure. Now you need staff. But when do you get them? When do you get them? Remember, you're building those relationships during the tough times. During the time, that's where you're building the relationships. Because if you're gonna wait till recovery to now and build, it's too late. It's too late. It's too late. Right. You can't go and build and fulfill a need if the need is already there, because then there's 10 other companies that's already done it. They're going to take the market. You need to plan ahead. You need to anticipate. That's what's going to happen there. I need to be ready. Right. I need to be ready when it comes. So you're planning ahead for that. So when it comes, you can move, you can benefit, you can be the first there. Right. You have the equipment, you have the machinery, you have the staff, right? You're ready just to move, to take the opportunity, and you can grow quickly before everyone else. Everyone else will still be recovering from the trough. You will be moving already. Right. Remember, they say the early bird catches the worm. They say the early bird catches the worm. So you want to be there already. You want to be there because you plan for it. Can we understand how it works? Can we understand? And let me just go through. I see there's a question. Off the topic. Yes, they will forward the, I'm not sure if you attended the Jack of all trades presentations, but it's emailed. It will be emailed. The city will email it to you. You should get it. It should be you should get it today. So I should have it today as well. Okay. Zaid. Great. Very valuable presentation. I think Old Mutual was there. Some other financiers was also at the session, explaining a little bit about the industries, you know, the economy, where they're at, how they're expanding, all the offerings they have, all the finance offerings is crazy, right? They've planned ahead. They know, banks know. They know way in advance what is going to happen, what the needs. So they've packaged already solutions, cash flow solutions, funding solutions, a whole lot through the grow apps. They have a plan. I can't remember the name now. I'll try and forward it. I'll try and find the details and forward through to you guys. In fact, it's on our website. One of the offerings that they offer, specifically designed for companies that need quick cash flow. Quick cash flow. Remember, they're not going to offer you long-term during it. It's quick, it's for contracts. So you get a contract, I need money, I just need to do it. They offer those type and quick short turnaround times, and it's part of the ESD spend, right? So they get recognition for actually supporting you. That's from Old Mutual, special package that they offer. Okay, and online tools. Remember what we said, innovation. You need innovative tools during this time. Things that makes things easy for you, right? That makes things easy for you. That is what you need during this time. Okay. We're moving on. Great. Just close this window. So we're looking at grants. So when we look at this is what's offered through government now. So lots of grants, right? There's funding. Now grants we know is you don't have to repay it back. There's also funds which is available that will cover salaries, cover staff, right? So if companies like Productivity SA, they were also there yesterday for you guys that missed it, on the type of support that they give. Wonderful support. Remember, the purpose of the support is job creation. So Productivity SA, if you're in the financial distress, you're struggling to keep your staff afloat, remember they're funded by the Department of Labor. Department of Labor funds them. They funds them. So they're saying, keep the staff. Don't put them off. Apply through Productivity SA, go and apply for funding and support. It's not for you, it's for retaining staff. So they're going to help you find ways to keep your business afloat and retain the staff instead of putting your staff off. Okay, and so those are turnaround programs, and they'll cover costs depending on which program that it is, to cover salaries and all of that. So those things are available. Those things are available. You need to find out and go and meet with these organizations on what incentives is there available for me. Reduction in tax, right? If you are training your staff, for instance, during this time, reduction in tax, incentives for you, right? And lots of programs. Right. When things are busy, you don't always have time to do that. But during this time, yes, there's lots and lots of programs that is being offered, right? through the expansion, and those programs are still happening. Remember, it was initiated 2 years ago, 3 years ago. During the expansion, those programs are still running that you can actually go and access. Okay, regulatory assistance, we've mentioned the red tape reduction that is available. There's units to make things easier for you to actually register with the different departments. Okay, and we've said during contraction, relief funding, right? So there is loads of that, which is gonna be launching now, right? So they've packaged it already because government already anticipated, right? So there's special tax rebates. They call it deferral agreements, which can be put in place if you are registered with SARS and you fall behind. All of these the policies has been changed for you to make it easy for you, because if you are not tax compliant, you cannot do work with government. So they're saying, you know what, come to us. Come to us. We know you can't pay your VAT. We know that you can't pay your income taxes. You're behind on pay as you earn and all of these things. But come to us and put an agreement in place. They can upload that agreement onto your e-filing, and immediately you're compliant and you pay them 50 Rand a month. Can we understand? These things have been put in place for you. Training and development programs, free. Guys, it's all free online. This course that we're doing is we offer these courses free. The city offer, you go on the city's website, you will see the list of courses, 20, 30 courses every single month that they're offering through all the government departments, through the CEDAs. They're all offering programs, DDAT offering programs in all industries, in all sectors, even universities. UWC is offering programs. You guys need to be aware of what's happening, and you need to apply, because on these programs, you not only get training and development, there's also programs with funding. So they're giving you funding. Organizations like ASISA is one of the organizations, ASISA Foundation that we work with, they offer financial literacy programs. They give you funding. So if you're on the Flame program, running a program now in Garden Route, you're looking for suppliers to go on this program. I mean, they give you support for 2 years. They show you how to manage your finances. And if you need funding, you apply funding for equipment and machinery in construction that you don't need to pay for. They will pay for that equipment or machinery, things that you need to improve your business. Coaching, mentoring, right? 6 or 7 coaches with a coach that is going to help you one-on-one with your business, that you get for free. Guys, you need, when you're struggling and you don't know, look, you don't know what you don't know, right? And the more people that is helping you through these times, tough times, because it's not only financial support, it's mental support, right? Because, I mean, we're human beings. We're human beings. It's a lot. It's stressful. It's stressful not knowing if I'm going to have this contract, how things are working. It is a stressful time. So being on a program and having a coach there, having a coach, because those programs ran right through COVID. Instead of face-to-face, they did it online, but you have a coach that's there you can speak to. You know what? This is my challenge. This is what I'm struggling with. Help me with this. You understand? And it's free. All you need to do is apply for those programs. You apply. And what do you mean by you fill out a form? You can fill out 20 forms. You apply for the programs that is available. Remember, this is the time that you're doing it now. This is the time that you're going to do it. You're preparing for the trough, for the tougher times ahead. And no matter how tough it is, if you have a coach that is with you, that is being paid for, and you're on a program, it's going to be easier for you. Guaranteed. Listen, guaranteed. If you're on a program during this time, it's going to be beneficial for you. We know it will be beneficial because the core of what we do is external M&E. This is what our Greenhouse Foundation does. We measure impact of those programs. We go to each of the participants on these programs, whether it's a metropolitan program, whether it's our CISA Foundation, whether it's the Hope Factory, whether it's Psyche ED, whether it's City of Cape Town, and we go and we evaluate those participants. We ask them, was this valuable for you? Did you grow? How many jobs did you create? Was it valuable having a coach? What did it make a difference? We ask them this, and I can tell you that it is valuable to be on there. You need to apply. It's free. It is free. It is free. So you guys need to be aware of this. And remember, I mentioned earlier, this is where you're building your networks. You're building your networks, right? Right? To look for opportunities to make things easier for you. Okay. So your trough, low interest loans, wage subsidies, yes, you can apply through product. How can you support, right? To subsidize salaries, to keep those doors open, right? To keep those doors open in your business. You must remember product, they're putting money into your business. They're putting money in, 300,000-400,000, right? That you don't have to pay for. You apply for it, they assess that, yes, they have. Listen, they all have criteria. So that you need to be in financial distress to apply. People say, I'm stressed. There's a difference. I'm not saying that you're stressed. People say, I'm stressed. I'm saying you need to be in financial distress, which means that your turnover needs to be down. If it was last year 1 million, now it's 200,000 and I have staff to pay. It's gone down. It needs to be on paper. I need to see that you can say, oh, I'm down. I'm not making money now. Now you're in distress, now you can apply. It's a requirement. Everyone has a requirement. So that's the requirement for Productivity SA. You need to be in distress and you need to be operating. You can't be a startup. You must be operating for 2 years. You must have financials so that they can show, yes, you are struggling, right? And you cannot afford to play the stock. Great, we're going to help you. Now you're on, right? So that's what you find out. Now, recovery. You need to have innovative incentives, infrastructure. All of those things is available through government. So DTI, IDC, infrastructure, money for equipment and machinery that's available through government. So government has those fundings that's available for you for expansion, right? For expansion and infrastructure, you apply through IDC for those type of funding. And remember, it's linked to jobs. So remember, when it's a trough, people don't employ people. It's too risky. But when you're recovering after trough, how you expand? You're expanding. You want to employ people now, right? The funding is for jobs. They're saying, we will cover the equipment, but you need to have people running it. If you're not going to employ people, we're not giving you equipment. Okay, because it's not about the equipment. It's about the jobs. You need to understand how it works. They're paying for jobs, and expansion. Okay. So refinancing opportunities, yes. If you have property, you can refi, you can take out refinance, right? That's when you can take out loans because you know things are going to be looking good. During the trough, only low interest loans you can consider, loans like SIFA, good because it's government supported financial institutions. SIFA, small enterprise financial agency, those are the only ones that you're going to consider, right? Don't even think about alternative lending funding that's available, right? There is lots and lots of loan sharks out there. This is what they do. Listen, guys, you need to be careful. You need to be careful. I'm warning you now. There is loads of loan sharks that is out. Big companies, listen, you can't call them loan sharks because they are big companies. They are big companies providing short term. When you see their 24-hour loans, hey, you need to read the fine print. You need to read the fine print. When you take out those loans, they're charging you interest per day. They're giving you a set time to pay it back. If you cannot pay it back, they're going to nail you on interest. They're going to nail you. And then if you cannot pay it back, right, you lose everything. They come for you. They come for you, right? And that interest just carries on. It's compounded. It's compounded interest. It's interest on interest on interest on interest, right? And then you take out 100,000, but it costs you 1,000,000. Yes, this is what happens. And you don't get out of that hole. The hole just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So guys, please be careful about the finance that's available during a trough. You stay away, you do without it. Rather, it is better for you. You struggle, you form agreements, you form partnerships, you negotiate during that time. You don't take out those type of finance. It is a short-term fix. Long-term, you're gonna pay for it. Right, you're gonna pay for it. Okay. So we've covered a lot. We've covered a lot, right? We're just gonna revise. We're gonna revise quickly before we finish. This will be the last slide. This will be the last slide, and then we'll take on some questions. Okay. So we're saying that there need to be diversification in your, especially during recession time, right? Which means that you might offer something new. So in other words, you're doing construction, you might decide, you know what, let's offer something new during this time. There is a need there. Yes, because this is what happened during COVID. People that were not making masks just decided, you know what, they want masks. What am I going to do? I'm going to make masks. You understand? You need to look at where the needs is during this time, which is why you need to keep your feet on the ground. You need to keep your feet on the ground. You need to look at what people want. And remember, we said basic needs, savings, right? Services that can save people money. That's where people is going to be spending. And remember, whatever you're putting in place with regard to products or services, it must be low cost to maintain it. It doesn't cost you much to keep that offering running. It mustn't cost you much. It's something you can do at a very low cost, right? You don't want to overinvest, because the thing is, if you overinvest in something like, let's say you want to make masks. Now you know you need machines. Now you go and you buy a factory, and you buy equipment, and you buy sewing machines, and you employ 20 people, and now no one needs masks. What do you do then? So you're not going to overinvest. You want to offer something, right, which you can offer at very, very low cost to put it in place and to maintain it. Don't need, it's not going to cost you a lot to break even for the product or service that you are offering. Those are the things. I need it now, but if I need to stop in 2 or 3 months, I can stop, right? But it's going to bring in cash flow. This is what we need to look at. It's going to bring in cash flow for my business during this time, right? And that is very, very important, to keep a healthy cash flow, because remember, there's a shortage of cash. So if you can get some, that is great. Innovation, remember we're saying you're going to adopt tools, right? And solutions that not only that you can offer people, but will allow you to do things quicker and easier, right? Remember, so we go, instead of having face-to-face, we're going to have a meeting on Zoom, right? We're going to have, instead of having a consultant to do my analysis, I'm going to use ChatGPT because I can use the free version, and I can do it for free. Right. Instead of getting someone to do my social media and pay that person, I'm going to use an online application, right? And I can do it for free through this application, right? So you're going to look for these type of things to make things easier for you, Innovation, how you can innovate. we've covered, and I think the last workshop that we did, remember we offer free workshops. With the last one, I think it was financial management that we did, we covered in detail, right? In detail, you're gonna manage the finances that you have. You're keeping track of every cent. This is what we're saying. You're gonna keep track of every cent. Look at where money is going out and cancel contracts, memberships, where money's going off every month on those debit orders. Listen, people love those debit orders. It just goes off. You don't see it. It's a debit order. It just goes off. Cut out. No debit order. You got to stop all those debit orders. Right. Right. And make sure that you secure funding. If you're going to secure funding, make sure you build the relationship and understand what it's costing you. Understand what it's costing. If you go to the bank, if you go to CIFA, if you go to NEF, understand the criteria, understand what it's costing you, and understand the risk. Understand the risk. What are you risking? What are you risking? Okay. And make sure you schedule time with them. Schedule time with the consultants, right? Schedule time with the consultants and make sure you understand the risk that you are taking before you need the finance. Before you need it, you're going to check first. Networking, we've mentioned this, very important. You're going to form partnerships to deliver contracts, to limit capacity, to limit expenses, which means instead of you having to go use your own equipment, use your own machinery, use your own consultants, you're going to outsource and use someone else's, form a partnership with them. Why? Because you're spreading cost and you're spreading risk. Yes, you're also spreading your profits, but remember during this time, right, you want to lower cost and lower risk. So you'll rather use someone else's than use your own and maintain that cost, right, during a trough where there's no money coming in and you still have expenses to pay, right? So very, very important. You need to understand this. And remember, it's not all companies that struggle during this time. There's companies that grow. So if you're in a sector that is a growing sector, that's a growing sector, you need to then build capacity to be able to deliver, but you're doing it through partnerships. Great. Everyone needs this now. We partner because remember, it's up and down. It's like a banjo. It's up and down. It's up and down. Right. Right. So you're gonna partner. You're gonna partner with the company to do it for this time. And when you move into that growth phase again, now you're growing. Right. Now you're in expansion. No problem. Now I can do it myself. Can we understand? We finished the trough. I've outsourced it, but now I know I'm moving into, right, expansion. Now I can buy my own equipment, my own machinery, because now I know we will have contract and there's growth and we can pay it off, right? This is how it works. Skills. You're gonna invest in this time. Make sure that you're investing in your staff during this time. You need to have people that understands, right, how to build marketing, how to build your brand, how to bring more clients in, how to be efficient. This is what you need to do. Because the reason why you need to do it, you need to do more with less. You need to do more with less. This is what we're saying. And how do you do more with less? You improve efficiency of your staff, of your processes, of your service, of the work that you are doing. Not only do you need to improve it, right? To improve your efficiency, you need to deliver a better service. Why? Why do you need to deliver a better service during this time? Because everyone is after your clients. Remember, you are now, everyone is more competitive. Everyone is after that 5 fish, and there's 50 people after 5 fish. Everyone wants it. Now you have the client, but there's another 50 companies trying to take them away from you. You need to deliver a better service now. Better service. You need to hold on to the clients you have. You give them a better service. You're giving them extra, not less. You're giving them more. It is strange to think. It doesn't make sense when you think about it. I'm struggling, but I need to give more. Yes. I'm explaining you how it works. You need to give them more. Why? You need to retain them. You need to retain, you need to keep clients. You don't want to lose clients because they are very, very valuable now. They are more valuable than ever because there's so few of them. There's so few of them that are spending. People, remember, people are not spending. So those that are, you're going to give them more value during this time. And you do this, you're upskilling yourself and your staff so that you can do more professional, more value, more services. This is what it boils down to. Okay, so this is the time that you are doing that, right? And fortunately, there's lots available. There's lots of skills. You just Google webinars and courses. There's lots available for free through government. Remember, businesses are struggling, not government. Governments still have money. They still need to operate. So they are offering support. They're offering training. All you need to do is access it. All you need to do is access it. We've said community engagement, right? You participate, community development. You're working with communities. Remember, you're supporting the people around you during this time. This is what we rely on. This is where you build your relationships, because remember, right, small businesses become big businesses. Small contracts become big contracts. When they expand, they give you an order for 20 cupcakes. And now it's not much, but when they are growing and they're expanding and they have a big contract that they need to do a big event, now they're going to order 1,000 from you or 500. Can we understand how it works? This is when you build your relationship, when you involve communities and you support them, right, to build new relationships, and you build long-term relationships during this time. Okay, so you're gonna engage with your communities and the people around you. How can we work together? How can we work together? You do a bit, I do a bit. Okay, that's part of your investment Q&A. Right, so we've covered a lot during this time. We've mentioned the importance of understanding how government works. We understand that it's a global market, right? We have an economy in South Africa, but globally things affect us, right? Things affect us in our homes, in our businesses. We need to understand how it works. We cannot ignore it. We need to understand that we need to have a plan. We need to have a plan. Remember, we are entering a recession right now, which means less spending, which means that you need to take action, right? Not only on diversifying your product, right? You're going to look at what it is that you are offering, right? You're going to limit your waste, all of those things. You're going to increase your marketing. You're going to increase your nurturing of your clients. You're going to do engagement. You're going to look at what finance is available. You're going to try and cover your debt as much as what you can. You're going to look at what innovation you can do, you can include into your business that will allow you to save money, and your debit orders that goes off, you're going to cut that out now. Okay, you're going to cut that down. You're going to lower your cost. You're going to lower your cost, right, over the next few months, right, so that you guys are going to be prepared. You're going to be prepared, right? And please share with businesses that you work with. Please share with family members as well. They need to cut down on debt. Debt is bad because it's so easy. It's so easy to get a credit card, and then they give you another credit card, and you go to another bank and they just give it to you. It's so nice. They just give you credit cards. So easy to get, and you show your card. I'm a platinum, one gold. That's bad. It is bad. And then you get one credit card to pay off the other one. And then it's a never-ending cycle, right? So please be very, very careful with debt. It's easy to get now. It's easy to get. You can get finance, right? But please be very, very careful and very, very wary of it now. Okay, make sure that you're engaging and you're communicating. Please stay in contact with us. We do share all our events on our platform. Okay, that is the Greenhouse website, Greenhouse Foundation. Okay, you will go on there and you look at events. You'll see the next event. Naeem, when is the next event? I think it's the 1st of August. Is marketing and sales. Yes, marketing and sales. Right, is on the 1st. Very, very important. If you have not attended the marketing and sales one, we're covering how to market and sales your and do marketing and sales. It's on the 1st of August. You can get the link on our website, and it's also on the city's website. A lot of you guys went on the city. All our events, our free events is posted on the city's website. I'm gonna ask you guys to please, if you have any questions, you can raise your hand and ask your questions. You can also put it in the chat box. If you have a question, any question, please go ahead and ask your question. Now I'm happy to answer any of the questions that you may have. Let me just check if I can see any. Let me just stop sharing my screen. There we go. Q&A. Is there any questions, guys? You can raise your hands. Andrew, Bongani, Candace, Diane, Liesel, Ramilda, Sabida, Zahid. If you have any questions, please go for it. If we don't have any questions, there's a one hand. Please unmute and go for it. If you have a question. Oh, Naimus sent us the link for the sales and the marketing. Thank you very much. It's in the chat box. You can click on that and link and register for the sales and marketing on the 1st. For you guys that are here, please share with businesses within your network. Remember, our webinars are free. We want you guys to attend, you know, and share it with your business networks. Please, Ramilda, you have a question? Go for it. You can unmute. You can unmute yourself.
No, I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, cool. There's no questions. Great. If there is any other question, if there is questions, please ask your questions. If not, thank you very, very much for joining us. I hope you have a great week. Please remember, guys, to share the information that we shared with you, with businesses and family members in your sector. Remember, you need to plan. Please put a plan in place for yourself. We will see you for the next one in August, the sales and marketing. Please share it with other businesses. All our webinars are free. We will also have, and we will be launching some courses as well. It's online courses, also free. Those are certificate courses. This is not a certificate course. We will share the information with you, but we do have certificate courses that we will be launching. So please follow our WhatsApp group, which we have a channel on WhatsApp that we post all our events, and it's also posted on our website, Greenhouse Foundation. You'll see the events there, and our courses will also be posted on there that you can actually, I see it was just shared, the WhatsApp link and channel where we post all our events. Also, if we have partners that has events and running programs, we post them on there for you guys as well. We will share that information with you. We will also share some information on our Grow app tool that we've just launched to share information opportunities for you. We will share that with you guys as well, so that you guys can register and stay up to date with what is available. I know it's very difficult as a small business to keep track of everything, what funding, what programs is being offered, by all the funders. So we've created a platform. It's the Grow Hub platform. That is free for you to use. You would register your business on there. So we will send you, in the next couple of weeks, we'll send you a link to register on the Grow Hub application, and you can put your business there, and we will link your business through to opportunities, especially through corporate companies like Old Mutual, the cities, our programs, everything is on there. So at least you can see it in one place, what is actually available. It's remember, the application is version 1 of the application. We're still busy developing version 2 and version 3, but there is a little bit of functionality on there, and we want you guys to register on in the meantime. And you have a question, go for it, please.
Unmute. Hi, Khalid.
Hi there, Diane.
Hi, thanks for another great session. I've been enjoying the sessions with you. It's really informative.
Thank you.
Khalid, so like you say, you always need to have a plan in place. And in terms of understanding economic cycles, and trying to keep a balance between understanding South African market, understanding international market, do you have any specific resources that you could suggest where we could stay up to date with what's happening in economic cycles at any given time?
You look, if you use Google or ChatGPT, it's gonna search current events. The government also puts out bulletins on their GDPs, especially now with the new fiscal year. They putting out previous data on the last year, and also on their strategy moving forward, and and the viewpoint on what is happening. It's all different papers, right? But Google and ChatGPT works really great. It summarizes all of that. There's also some really good webinars that has taken place over the last 3 to 4 weeks. Just look at the ones which are recent, because remember, the thing with economics, it changes day to day. So it's no point looking at a video that took place a year ago. You need to look at current videos, discussions that take place all the time in the industry, on YouTube and on Twitter. Those are the things that you want to look at. Trends that is about a month old, those are the ones that gives you very, very valuable information. Government, bulletins and that, it's normally very delayed. So government put things out very, very delayed, but on the Twitter and the YouTube, those are more current. Just make sure that whatever videos that you are watching is speakers specifically from South Africa, because I mean, those are economists that that understands the economic climate that are here. There's a few that I've just viewed a few days ago. South African-based companies, a few of the banks was in that. DHL was in those sessions. Top economists, and remember, economists are, they're not financial advice. They give trends, but remember, there's no advice that they give. Things don't always work according to plan. They're just giving recommendations. They're giving you trends. It's still up to you to make decisions. But the more informed you are, I would say watch about 4 or 5, and then of those videos, it will give you a very good idea, more or less, of what is happening within the sector. I wouldn't say take one person's viewpoint or one economist's viewpoint. Watch a few videos, get a few research. It takes a bit of time, but remember, it's well worthwhile. It's well worthwhile, especially with your planning and looking what's going to happen, in future. Package your solutions and products. If you can do that and be prepared, it will be worth your time. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Different economic strategies. Thank you. Is there any other questions? If there's no other questions, thank you very much. Let me just check the Q&A. There's no questions on the Q&A. Thank you very much. We will send the recording for today. For everyone that has joined me, I hope you have a great week. Keep well, everyone.